Good morning. Right, so what we're going to do on this video is a little bit of electrical work. This is going to be separate to the changing of the solar charge controller. I want to dedicate a video to that really. It's not much of a job, but it's just if anybody's ever searching for solar stuff, it's a lot easier to keep all that in one go. This little bit of work that I'm going to do today is just a little electrical modification, if you like. So there is a socket in the CV20 specifically, a USB socket that is in the top cupboard, actually shut in a cupboard. And to me that's a crazy idea, because you've got clothes in the cupboard or foodstuffs in your cupboard, whatever you want in there, and you're going to have to keep moving stuff to charge stuff. Also, if like me you want to charge your phone overnight but have it next to you for I have a bit of music on to get me to sleep, or you want you know, to use it as a light or an alarm, you want it next to you. So I'm going to move the USB socket to the back end of the bed and put a voltmeter where the USB socket is, just to fill the gap, but also you can then monitor the state of charge in the battery, just for your own knowledge really. I mean, I'll go more into that with the solar charge controller, but yeah, that's what I'm going to do there. And also what I want to do in this little electrical mod is the van itself battery. So as I said before, treat it as two entities. The van battery that starts the engine, that works your lights, your wipers, your horn, is separate to your habitation battery. Now you can rig up that your solar charge controller charges both. There is an option to do that, but routing the wires in one of these before they're built is a bit of a pain. The other option is, because the battery is in the cab area of this van, actually under the floor, is to put a little adapter onto the battery so you can plug a quick charger in it. Because what you've got the problem with these, certainly this maker van, even if it's sitting parked up, it's always using something, because it's got a tracker fitted or an alarm fitted, and there's a constant drain. And the nature of camper vans is you don't use them all the time, so you'll find that your van battery will die. So I'm going to fit a little adapter so that when I'm on hookup on the drive, I can plug a charger in and just you know, monitor the actual van battery itself. You'll see more when I'm doing it. That's what's happening today. So as I say, I'm going to be moving some sockets. These is a twin USB in the cupboard where you'd put all your clothes, and also this is the TV booster. Now USBs interfere with signals. I've got no doubt that that's why everybody has trouble with the television tuning, because that's going to interfere with that. And I obviously don't want USBs in a cupboard full of clothes. They need to be where I need them. So I'm going to move this socket and put a little voltmeter there. This is commonly known in CV circles as the secret cupboard. Now this is you can't get in this, but there is a hinge in it and there is a void behind it. And if you can see in there, I don't know if you can, you can't see, but in that gap there, there's a little bracket that's screwed shut. They must screw it shut when it's being made. You have to get a little tiny hacksaw blade in there and just saw through the screw, and then this will come open and we'll be able to get to all the wiring. So we've got a sawn off hacksaw blade and a shut cupboard. What can go wrong? There we go then, the secret cupboard. Da da da. You can see there's just a load of wires in there. So there's a little cover around these, which I've just flicked off with a thin screwdriver. What I did notice, I've disconnected the leisure battery and I've turned the hookup off. What I did notice, I'd still got voltage showing on these. These glow up blue, and it was still showing voltage, and the TV aerial was still lit up. Turns out the solar panel, even though I've disconnected the leisure battery, is in a loop that it's still feeding voltage with the battery disconnected. So I've just pulled the live wire out of the solar charge controller there, you can see, so that there's no voltage feed anywhere now. So we're completely independent. I'm going to take these screws out.
And he's not going to blow himself up.
You can't blow yourself up with 12 volts. Yeah, so just undoing these screws. Let's see what happens when we get them out. Should just be an hole with some wires in, hopefully. There we go. How much play we got on it, that's the thing. I don't know how far that... Oh, there's a little connector in a non-recess. So we'll have to chop these wires anyway.
Well, they're not on push.
Oh no, there's a connector on the back. We're all good, we're all good. See on that. Right. Okay. I'm just going to crimp some Lucars on here now. Like that.
Some what?
Lucars, that's what they're called. What do you call them?
Crimp connectors.
They're called Lucars. Or, if you worked at Lucas's for 13 years, that's what they were called at Lucas's.
Yeah, because that's a brand name.
Well, so this is what's going in there. Same sort of thing. Voltmeter. Apparently that's a little, so I presume it's like a photovoltaic switch or something. There's no pressy thing, but it says you can turn it on and off. We shall find out. Positive was red, wasn't it? Did you check? Yes. Right, so that's the voltage meter back in there. I'll connect the solar panel up and see what happens. Right, so we're all connected back up. You can turn the panel off. It must be like a photovoltaic thing. You press that, comes on. That tells you the percentage in the battery, because we're on solar at the minute only. So it's got 93% in it. We've got 13.4 volts in the battery. So it's only a minor thing, but and obviously we can turn that off. So that's good. We like that. Okay, so now we've swapped that out, we're left with the USB charger. And what we find is we like to charge our phones at night, and as you know, with it being up in that cupboard, daft idea, I'm going to, where the battery is there, if you look at the panel on the back, I'm going to actually mount that on the back of the panel so that we've got a USB down low, and I can connect it directly to the battery. It'll be independent of the main vehicle wiring. I'll fuse it separately because there's no point running from the main fuse box when I've got the battery there. You'll see on the back of the USB it's got its own transformer, regulator, whatever you want to call it, built in. It says it'll take up to 24 volts input and then obviously convert it itself to output. So feed in there, output from the front. Lovely. Right, so you've got this panel on the back of the bed area. I'm just going to cut a hole into this and mount that socket there so that when we're lying in bed we can just plug the phones in here, and we're going to put some netting on the back doors to put them in, but yeah, it's at the level you want it to be. There we go then, so that's what that now looks like from the back, just in that panel. Perfect position for us to use anyway. Okay, so there we go. Just got the wires up in the air so you can see the little blue wire there going to the negative, and then that orange wire there is coming from the brown. I've put an inline fuse connector. It's got a mini blade 4 amp in it, and we're now live. You can see the blue light, I think, so all is good. Just going to tidy these wires up there. This is actually added the day after. I've just added a switch there to turn that off. Obviously it would be live all the time, which wasn't a problem, but it's just easier to switch it on and off like that. So that's just the back view of the switch. All I've done is broke the live feed from the battery. Right, so you're now in the cab area of the van. Just lifted up the carpet. See that access panel there? Under that panel, once you've undone these screws, they just basically turn 90 degrees, 45 degrees. I'm no good with maths, but you know what I mean. One click and they turn. That panel then comes up, and then under there is your van battery that actually runs the van. I'm just going to drop a little adapter on there so I can connect a charger without actually lifting that every time. Right, so this is my charger. I've used these on a lot of vans. It's a charger, it's a supply, it's also a reconditioner, and you can leave it permanently connected up to maintain your battery. The good thing about it is obviously all the ends are interchangeable. You've got your crocodile clips on at the minute. You just snap that connector off, the clips are off, and then you get varying adapters that you can put on. So I'm going to leave this one permanently on the van battery and just have that little bit poking out under the floor, and then I can connect the charger up anytime I like. Right, there we are then. So the earth is onto that spare terminal there. The live is onto the end of the battery terminal there, and then the connector is just going to poke out the back there, out of the way of feet and stuff, and then I can just connect up whenever I want to charge it. There you go then, so that's just under the footwell, all ready to connect up. And there you go, that's just to show you it's connected up. Leave it plugged in when we're on hook up now. Just snaps on like that. Perfect. Right, I do keep forgetting to do an ending. So yeah, that was a little electrical update, showing you just the fitment of a voltmeter and moving a socket. I'll catch you on the next video.